Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. Now, currently, All Out is in progress. So, for those of you choosing to join us over watching that show, we greatly appreciate it. For those of you watching the show, I hope you're having a great time. Wrestling should always be fun and entertaining. And to that point, this week in the world of wrestling, eh. I got to be honest, guys, I really didn't pay much attention to Raw or SmackDown this week. Raw, I kind of regret skipping out on because I do think it's still a strong show. I think it's lost a little bit of its strength, but it's still overall a solid show that I would try and watch week to week if I could help it. SmackDown, I think, the Timu Bloodline and Cody as champion, just none of that is doing anything for me. I think the mid card might be the best part, but then you got LA Knight as US champion, so it's a whole bunch of blah. And so for me, NXT this week was far and away the best show. And NXT I did watch, I think, from beginning to end. I do want to save NXT for last, though, because there's so much to be giddy over when it comes to NXT. Let's just actually talk about SmackDown first, actually, because it's consistently been the weakest show. And let's not bury the lead here. We know next week on the USA premiere of SmackDown, it is going to be Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa inside a steel cage. Um, I didn't like this match when they had all free movement and it was bloodline rules. How do they think I'm going to like this match more now that movement is restricted inside a steel cage? Make it make sense, maybe? Or maybe I'm not the one making sense. I don't know. But I'm really not thrilled about this matchup. Cody himself didn't even seem thrilled about this matchup, which is why he tried challenging Jacob Fatu instead. But Solo kind of looked at him and was like, "You really about to step out right now?" To which Jacob replied, "I love you, Solo. I love you." And people think that, Jacob does this as kind of a calming technique so that he doesn't beat Solo's ass. So before I go any further, because Lord knows I have a motor mouth, I'm actually the third Motor City Machine Gun with this mouth of mine. Partner, what do you think about this? Are you as uninterested as I am, or are you a bit more, a bit more positive on it?
No, it's ass.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, I can appreciate them trying to keep the bloodline story going in a direction. We've addressed concerns about it so many times. Literally pick an episode, especially from this like last, I even feel like 2 months, maybe even more. We've been talking about this, and we've probably touched on it. Is Roman gonna acknowledge his wrongdoings? Is there gonna be an actual redemptive path, even though he's already getting pops like crazy? Like this crowd was so ready to forgive him and ride with him, which I don't judge them for. He does have a badass aura about him. I've been popping for him too. So it's not a judgment, just an observation. But Solo just isn't a compelling villain to me. Really, in an alternate timeline where they did go with Jay and Jay got corrupted by like Roman, that would have been far more fascinating to me because I think it also. No, I'm wrong. I fucks with Jey Uso. You know that, dude. I shouldn't have to tell you. You know that better than anybody. I'm just saying that I think it would have had that extra layer of generational trauma. And again, how hurt people because Jay got put through the ringer. And then Roman not only would have to atone and redeem, but he would have to stop the monster that he created. That just seems so much more emotionally resonant than Solo just being a usurper when
Yeah.
we really didn't even see the usurpation. Because it was like Roman just quietly left TV after Cody beat him. There wasn't even any buildup of like Roman, kind of cutting a promo and maybe Solo side eyeing him. Like I thought losing wasn't tolerated. No, just Roman disappeared and then Solo picked up the ball. So there's no tension. There's no stakes to me in that. I just think, and again, I'm not trying to go too hard on the story because I think it's done a rare feat, and that's keep interest for so many years. I do think about given how Solo just isn't really connecting in this role, and I don't even want to be too hard on him. I don't think Solo's ass by any means. I just think he has a ceiling, and his ceiling is lower than this, right? So I just think about the
You
alternate
know what though,
timeline where,
dude? Here's the
yeah,
interesting thing. I think that if they would have kept Roman in that top heel spot and they would have kept pushing him as the top heel, they could have had a potential top face in Solo if they would have given him that Batista treatment, the booking that like the Batista type booking where he kind of does the same thing where he tries to usurp Roman, but rather than trying to literally usurp Roman, where he tries to take his place as the tribal chief, he turns on Roman and tries to just, um, you know, overturn the monarchy, I guess you could say. Basically, tries to just stop Roman, tries to beat him, tries to take the title away from him. Realizes how corrupt the bloodline is and all that stuff. Like if they would have gone that route with Solo, I think he legitimately would have gotten over and been liked and maybe even loved as a top babyface potentially. I don't know if it would have lasted super long, but I think for a few months at least, you could have had one hell of a face run for Solo.
I agree with you completely, and I know this isn't the first time you've said this. Even in the build up to some of Roman's feuds, like Sammy and stuff like that, where Solo seemed more and more like he was breaking away a little bit. You were saying like, oh, they've got like a Batista kind of build here, and that's another timeline. Like, what would have happened if they would have committed to that rather than the path that they did commit to? So the segment does end with the cage match being like official because Nick Aldis announces it. He also announces an 8-man tag, DIY and the Street Profits against Solo's Bloodline. So yeah,
Yeah, the match main evented the show, and it was not really all that noteworthy, in my opinion. Other
no,
than
no,
Jacob, Jacob went kind of ham, and that was really cool. And we got some really great selling from all four baby faces. But that's pretty much the only noteworthy thing from that main event match to me.
yes. Bailey beat Tiffany Stratton in like an okay matchup, whatever. Apollo Crews beats Vinci in 10 seconds.
Three
Vinci,
seconds.
yeah, well, yeah, you're right. The video I watched it said 10 seconds, so that's what I was going by. And it was one of the WWE videos. So, but yeah, I mean, you're more or less right. The bell rang and then bam. So, because
They
Vinci was
Dan
taking too long.
Mathod him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just kind of posing, looking good. I don't know if there's like a story here or if like what's going on with Vinci,
I
but
mean, as far as I'm concerned, the story is dweeb is a dweeb.
there you go. So Kevin Owens wins a triple threat because I have to keep in mind this was not a handicap match against
It
Austin
sure felt
Theory
like a triple,
and
or
Grayson
it sure
Waller.
felt like a handicap match.
Yeah, but Kevin Owens still overcame with a stunner to Theory. Really, the only thing I have to say about this, well, two things. One, it is tough being a Kevin Owens fan because I feel like he's just back now in the middle of the card. At best, we could hope for maybe a heel turn in the United States title run, but been there, done that. Didn't really care for it the first time. Second of all, I still feel like WWE on some level wants to make Austin Theory happen and potentially have him as babyface. I'm going to say right now, I think Grayson Waller is the bigger star of the two. I do
We've
not care
said
about
that.
Austin Theory.
Yeah, you and I both have
Yeah,
said that several
I
times.
just I just want to double down, and really just say that like I think as a heel, Grayson Waller has a lot to give. He might even have a future decent babyface run in him. Austin Theory, no, I don't see it because people are like,
Yeah.
oh, the babyface run is going to be so great. Is it? Is it with that face? I don't think so. Um, so that was that where you kind of recap Andrade and Carmelo Hayes' rivalry, and I think they're both kind of jockeying for a United States Championship match. LA Knight does his Rock Stone Cold esque promo because he has no genuine personality, lays them both out with a BFT. Kudos to Carmelo for his sell of the BFT. Actually made that finisher look legitimate and not like a piece of shit. After that, Chelsea Green beat Meechin in a match. Great to see Chelsea Green get a little bit of a rub. Of course, we know this Tuesday on NXT, she's going to be facing Julia in Julia's in-ring NXT debut. I really hope
I'm
Chelsea
glad
gets
she
her.
got the win
Yeah,
here, though. I mean, I love
yes,
Michin, and I'd rather not Michin be like jobbing to everyone, but in this case, I really appreciate her putting over Chelsea so that Chelsea actually, means something for Julia to beat her.
exactly. No, I'm really a big fan of both women, and I'll say that I do hope one day Chelsea Green kind of gets her flowers in the form of a title run because
Yeah,
I mean this woman consistently pops me. She's solid in the ring. She bumps and sells her ass off, really, because it is part of her comedy shtick. And I think her and Julia, I think she's the perfect kind of debut opponent for somebody like Julia because
yeah,
she's gonna make every move that Julia hits feel like death, especially the big moves, like the way she sold that knee strike when Julia interrupted
yeah,
her and Roxanne. Like, it's perfect. So I'm really happy for Chelsea. Not to mention she's a decent human being. I did see, just kind of her comments and stuff about Tessa Blanchard and all that. And I'm like,
yeah.
we need more women like that in the locker room for sure. We need more people like that, period, in the locker room.
Yep.
So big ups to Chelsea. Then finally, it was the main event. We already talked about it. So that's SmackDown. I'm really glad we got through that in record time because it was like a nothing show.
Hooray!
Um, Then moving on to Raw, I did feel like from what I saw of Raw, it was a bit better. Did you actually like watch Raw, or what was your relationship with Raw this Monday? Did you watch some and then like kind of
Well, I
doze
mean, it
off on
was
other
on
stuff?
my TV, but I was really hating that it was on my TV because there were so many other things I would have rather done,
Like football, for instance, just to take a
like
guess out there.
football or like YouTube videos even on my TV would have been preferred. Like yeah, that like Raw was a total nothing show to me this week. I really didn't care for it.
Yeah, well, we begin with Rhea Ripley. She more or less
That
cuts a
was
promo.
cool. That was
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, Rhea's always good stuff.
very strong baby face right now
Hmm.
is Rhea. Crowd's definitely
Both
behind
Terror
her.
Twins, really.
Yeah, really, exactly. Revels in the win that the Terror Twins got at Bash in Berlin,
Yep.
says that she pinned the women's champion, so she's angling for a title shot. Dom comes out to do his interruption. Of course, he can't even interrupt because he's being interrupted. And then Liv attacks. Seems like it's going to be thwarted, and then the numbers catch up, and then Liv is able to target Rhea's leg. So that's the whole thing. And throughout the night, it's like, oh, Rhea, you're going to be okay, and let the doctors check on you, and all that other stuff. And we end up getting a main event later of Finn and JD, who again Raw Tag Team Champions, lest we forget, against Damian Priest and Jay Uso, because we know Jay has been wanting to lock Rhea Ripley down. So yeah, she seems like she's into it. Seems like some meetings going on. Good for
I
them, I
loved
guess.
the backstage segment where Priest went up to her and was like, "So what did he say? Did he say yes?" She was like, "No, he didn't say yes. He said yeet."
Yes, I did
Awesome.
see that. And I thought that was precious.
That was
Uh,
fantastic. That's the kind of banter that we need more of on wrestling shows. That was awesome.
yes. American Made beat American, well, excuse me, it beat Alpha
Alpha.
Academy. Yes,
Oh
beat Alpha
God,
Academy.
American Alpha. What a throwback.
Dude, I know. Look, I started the botch and then you finish it, but no, it's Alpha Academy.
I
Um,
heard that Maxine actually looked really fucking good in this match. Actually,
I do think she's getting better. To her credit, yeah, I think she's getting better. She had a pretty fun hot tag. Crowd seems behind her too. I mean, I'm telling you, man, if she keeps putting in the work, you'll have one hell of an underdog story if she ever wins one of the titles.
yeah.
Because, like, I mean, goddamn. Um, then afterwards, Chad Gable gets on the mic. God, what a man.
Chattykins.
Dude, I know. What a leader. He gets on and he says, he's not done with Wyatt Six. He wants an eight person tag. So it's gonna be all of American made. Him, the Creed Bros, and Ivy Nile against Wyatt Six.
And I'm
And
assuming
so
that's going to be everyone but Uncle Howdy.
yes, that's what I'm assuming as well.
Yeah.
I like that they're keeping Uncle Howdy though special. That
Yeah.
that's intriguing because he did have the singles match with Chad, but that main evented that Raw.
Yeah.
And I thought they tore it up. I'm telling you, I fucking love Chad Gable, y'all. I know the character might annoy some, but he's doing his job then if that's the case. Um, Shayna Baszler beat Zelina Vega. I wish I cared. I like both women, but it just feels really lifeless to me. I mean, who would have thought that a faction name of Pure Fusion Collective wouldn't get me out of my seat?
Pure
Um,
Fusion Collective also like jumped Zelina after the match,
yeah,
and Lyra Valkyria came out for the help. So we haven't seen Lyra on like proper television in like a month at this point. So that was nice to see at least.
yeah. I will um I will give Sonya Deville credit. She had a great line in this. Dude, I know. I
Wait,
wish
did she
I,
have a great line in this? Because I'm
I
laughing because of how bad some of her lines were in this.
I thought the line because it was kind of like something you'd hear in like old school WWF to me. I actually like the line where she said, "There's not a man that can take us home,
Oh
and there's
God,
not a
that's what I
person
was
that can make us
laughing at
free."
because it's ridiculous.
I thought it was a good line personally. I mean, it's kind of funny though when you think about Sonya is
That's what
part of the
made it
Sonic community.
ridiculous because none of them are into men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's just like don't even try it because we don't
But that's
vibe
the
with
thing,
that.
though. It's like, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I know there are a lot of scumbag men out there who think that they can, quote unquote, turn lesbians straight. But, like, I would say the vast majority of men, even if they were physically attracted to a woman who was gay, once they find out you're gay, they're not interested anymore.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, like, that's like where it stops. So, like, that's just such a ridiculous. And also, like, the idea that the fucking MMA faction is out here talking up their sexuality, like their sexiness, basically. like making it seem like, oh man, we're so sexy and yet none of you can have us. Because I know that the actual like reasoning behind that line was like an innuendo pointing at the fact that they're all gay, or I don't even know for sure if they all are, but that's definitely like what I read into it because like we know that at least one of them is. We know for a fact that Sonya is, and it's definitely been heavily rumored on the internet that Shayna is, and I know nothing about Zoe. But like,
Yeah, Jabara says that Zoe is married to a man, so she
so
seems
she's
like
okay. So that's like, I really don't know where this line came from, and it's just absurd to me.
Hey, well, let's move on to meteor content. Apparently, Lyra, when she was game planning with the baby faces, said that she had an idea because they're in Calgary, and the recap that I'm reading seems to think that that's teasing Natalia for next week,
Yeah.
because that's going to turn the tide totally. Um,
Oh,
I just want to say to put the nail in the coffin on this discussion that Shayna once again deserves so much better than this, and Shayna Baszler, I am so sorry. If you're
yeah.
having fun, cool, but like we wanted you to win women's championships, singular, no more of this tag team shit. And the idea that tag teaming is pretty much all she's done since she's gotten to the main roster, more or less, is a joke. Oh, but she did lose to a pregnant Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, so that was cool. That was cool. CM Punk. You know what? You know what? What time is it? It's 10:56. I am gonna do something that I never thought I would do. So mark your calendars, everybody, because it's September 7th, 2024, 10:56 p.m. I think AEW has given us the best example of how to properly do a blood feud in 2024 because I am still loving, even though I do feel like they've made some missteps as I've documented, I am still loving what they're doing with Swerve and Hangman. I thought that segment with the contract signing where Hangman faked him out and burned the child at home, that's real hatred to me. Because
Yeah.
why, if you hate somebody, are you going to do the fucking formal contract signing? Now, the funny thing is, AEW is also screwing up hate feuds because I hated what Daniel Garcia and MJF did this week. Um, but yeah, Swerve and Hangman,
I actually
and a,
didn't watch that on purpose because get this, I turned Dynamite on right in time, 8:01 p.m., saw MJF's face and tuned out.
damn, damn.
No fucking interest
But
in
yeah,
that shit.
we always strive to give credit to segments even, and you guys know, I mean, I went in on AEW last week. I fucking hate the promotion. I do. The only good thing about it is that it's paying wrestlers. That's it. And some wrestlers don't even deserve to be paid. I'm just going to leave it at that. But they did this well. They did this well. It was very intelligent writing to me for the Hangman character who has clearly snapped, who has clearly gone off the deep end. Why the fuck am I going to sit down with a man that I hate, sign a piece of paper for a match? He even says to himself, why am I going to sign a contract for a match that we both know is going to happen? Fuck that. I'm going to take this time to fuck with your life because you were stupid enough to show up. So that's smart to me. You know what isn't smart to me? This goddamn shit. Because Punk and Drew have lost all of their heat to me. Punk apparently might even agree. He wanted to move on from Drew. He's like, I want championship gold. I'm here to make money. Shut the fuck.
Oh, I hated that so much. Why is it that Drew beats Punk at SummerSlam and can't get a title shot, but then Punk beats Drew and thinks he's entitled to one? I don't understand.
Because he's felonious. Because he's full. The rules never apply to him. He's the only good person left. He's the only true Scotsman, and Drew's actually a Scotsman. Um, So yeah, he's trying to call out Gunther. Yeah, you fucking wish one chop would end your career.
I mean,
Okay,
we said that about Drew too, but that's just not how he's booked.
that is true. That is unfortunately true. But anyway, yeah, he tries angling for a title shot. Drew beats the crap out of him, breaks the bracelet, shoves the beads in his mouth, and then hits a claymore. That was a nice visual, but I still, again, I got to give AEW that credit. If anything is bringing me back to childhood of like when Triple H and Shawn Michaels hated each other, it's Hangman Swerve. In fact, I even kind of felt bad like going live today because I know that cage match. I'm hoping that cage match main events because ain't no fucking way you're gonna have Danielson versus Jack Perry main event over that shit. Um and yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
I just
no,
got to give him credit
Danielson
for that.
Perry is either happening right now or already happened. I think it's happening right now, and Swerve Hangman is yet to happen, so that's main eventing.
Good. Good. And see, and I'll give him credit there too. That's proper booking because
They used the
that's
old
what sells.
NXT lights out gimmick to get it to go last without having to worry about logicking it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no, Super Blue, you got oh, no, I think you're talking to Ash, never mind, because you said you missed the best part, which is MJF hitting with a bottle. But, like, I may talk about that later when we get through all the WWE stuff and, like, why I didn't like the segment because I actually watched it. But yeah, this sucks too. I can't believe that AEW is actually doing this kind of feud the best right now with Hangman Swerve, but they are, and I wish Drew and Punk would take notes from that. I already said last week, I wish they would take notes from Jericho Michaels from '08, like '09. And yeah, just I really don't care for this feud. I want both guys to move on. Really, I want Punk to move out. I want him the fuck out of this company, and I want Drew to be world champion again. But God forbid, I'm happy. Um, so we have Ilya winning the first Intercontinental title tournament triple threat. Braun
Yeah.
Strowman would win the second one because Bronson Reed got COVID. Um,
Yeah.
because it's serious. Re up on your vaccinations, everybody. They just got a fresh supply, I think, across the country for the fall and winter season. I'm probably going to get mine in a few weeks. If you can get Novavax, I recommend that personally. Check with your pharmacies. I have to settle for Pfizer because corporate greed is a fucking bitch. So yeah, we got Braun Strowman and Ilya got the last two spots, so it's Pete Dunne. Oh, Jay Uso, yeet. Ilya, I don't know how you say yes in Russian, so I'm just gonna be like meh. And Braun Strowman, meh. So yeah, great
Da.
pickings there. There you go. Da. Um, great pickings there for Braun Breaker's first big defense post Sami Zayn. Um, I'm still thinking Ilya might win this just because of how their last match ended, and they might save Jey
Yeah.
Uso.
I
But
agree.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, hey, you know what? To make things worse, Sky Pirates lost to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, so
Yep.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn going to be challenging Bianca and Jade.
And
So
to, really add literal insult, or I guess really to add injury to that insult, Kairi busted her face open on a dive to the outside. She landed hard face first on the announce table and was bleeding afterwards.
yeah, yeah, that really sucked. Yeah. Um, And poor Io ate the pin in this match, and I'm like,
Yep.
"This is Io Sky, what's happening?" But
Hmm.
okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Everything's great. Gunther comes out, celebrates his victory. Then Sami Zayn comes out, and I loved Sammy's promo here. Now, this I think we can agree was a great promo. I don't know how you felt about this. I thought he really put over the world title. He put over the Intercontinental title because he mentioned the legacy of the IC title, and he mentioned certain champions. He mentioned Savage, Austin, Rock, Triple H, and Michaels, and Bret Hart. He said one of his favorite wrestlers. When they won the Intercontinental title and they got done their reigns, their next step was the world title. Sammy says he wants to take that same step. Um, and so he lays down a challenge. Gunther says, Sammy, it's funny. You mentioned all those names, but you'll never be a part of those names. Like you're not on that list. Your reign with the Intercontinental title was. I mean, he didn't say this in the promo. I'm saying it like through him. Your reign was pathetic compared to my reign with the IC title. I'm closer to those legends. And you know what? I think I even said to you during Rocket League, I was thinking about Sammy's promo, and I was thinking, how out of place would it be if you slid Gunther's name in there? And like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, when all's said and done, you'll be able to do that, and you won't even bat an eye because he really did. He really did amazing things with that title, and he's just an amazing competitor, just period. Gunther rejects Sammy's challenge, and he's walking off, and Sammy, well, he's not accepting that, so he gets on the mic and he's like, hey, what the hell is that about? Is it because that I'm somebody that can beat you because I did at WrestleMania? Well, you can't run and hide from me forever. I am going to get my match with you, and I am going to become world heavyweight champion. Cool. I think Sammy getting the title shot this early, it doesn't give me any hope that Sammy wins. Um, I do think it'll be a great match. I do think Sammy one day should hold the Raw World Heavyweight title. I just don't think it's going to be at Gunther's expense. I would say fortunately because I love Gunther. But yeah, should be a great matchup. Do you have anything you want to say about this segment or this impending matchup?
Nope.
All right, man, we are just breezing right through this. Okay, I already talked about that triple threat. And then, yeah, the main event tag match that Jey Uso and Damian Priest win, thanks to Rhea Ripley coming out and negating Liv Morgan's interference.
Yep.
And then they all just kind of eat together and pose to end the show. Really
Yep.
cool. All right. So then finally,
I gotta
we.
admit, I'm upset by this
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that. Why are you upset?
because it most likely means that Damien and Jay are going to be going after the tag titles. I hope they fail. because I want Damian and Rhea to win those goddamn things, and this just feels like a complete kibosh on any possibility of that ever happening.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know that I've wanted Sammy and Jay to be tag champions, and it seemed like they were going to do that for a second, and then they were like, "No, Sammy's going after Gunther," which I don't mind, but
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
I love that
It's like
on-screen relationship.
yeah, it's like both of the partners of the people that we wanted to go after the tag titles decided to pursue singles titles, and their partners just teamed up and decided to go after them instead. Because you wanted Sammy and Jay, and I wanted Rhea and Damian, and Sammy went after the world title, and Rhea is going after Liv in the women's world title, and all that leaves is
Jay
Damian
hopes
and
to,
Jay, and
yeah, yeah, Jay
there we
hopes to go
go.
after the Intercontinental title because he's in that Fatal Four Way, and he's been having
That's
interactions with Braun
true. I mean,
Breaker.
it would be nice. I mean, but then who would Damian team with to go after the tag titles, or would he just not?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you and I already think that Ilya's winning the Fatal Four Way anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
So that would
so
open the
yeah.
door for Jay, and yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is a whole thing. It's amazing because you could tell that Raw's got a lot of parts that like we're all invested in different ways. Like you could even see in the chat, like, Foster wants one thing. I've already said that I want another thing. You want a certain thing. So yeah, it's just funny how that all kind of works out. But now moving on to NXT. First we hear from Trick. Trick more or less wants a shot at Ethan Page. He wants that rematch. October 1st is the premiere for NXT on the CW network. Um, Page seemingly, I don't think he accepted. He was like, oh, well, let's see if you could just earn that shot for October 1st if you can even make it. And Pete Dunne comes out to brawl with Trick. This is kind of a motif throughout the show. Williams, or excuse me, yeah, Williams and Dunn kind of brawling throughout the arena. I was hoping it would end up as a false count anywhere match on this show. That did not happen. Trick and Pete, their matchup would go to a double count out. And then Ava said, why don't we do last man standing? Which here's my problem with that now that I've had time to reflect. That wouldn't have changed anything. It still would have been a double count out because when both guys are down, you count for both guys in that match. So why not just false count anywhere? Because it wouldn't have been any count out or anything else. It would have only ended when a pin was rendered. I think my idea was better, but then again, I'm me. So of course I'm going to believe that. After that, we got a triple threat tag team kind of number one contenders match. Hank and Tank versus Gallus versus the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. Seemed like a pretty fun matchup. The Good Brothers, who Hank and Tank had beaten recently, run interference, and Javon Evans also runs interference on Gallus. Good for you, Javon. Fuck white supremacists. I'm not saying Gallus are white supremacists, but I mean, come on, the aesthetic and everything
Yeah.
else, and them picking on black people like optics, okay? Optics. So instead, just to be as fair as possible, that's right, Javon. Stand up to white bullies everywhere that target you for suspicious reasons. So yeah, Trey Miguel and Zach Wentz win. Gallus is very upset about it. They're like, oh, how could this happen? And they're talking loud. And then I feel like I am kind of skipping ahead a bit, but it just came to my mind, so I thought I'd talk about it here real quick. Where Ren is just like, oh, hey guys, excuse me, can you quiet down, please? Miles has very sensitive ears, and Charlie's trying to concentrate. I love that Ren tried to mother the situation. Like, it was so adorable to me, and I popped. I popped. I'm like, "Oh my god, Ren, what are you doing?" Even Charlie was like, "What are you doing?" And then she's like, "And why are you guys going after Javon anyway? He's, like, really good and really cool." In fact, Logan Paul, and then she got cut off, and I'm glad she did because fuck Logan Paul's opinion. I don't care if he likes Javon Evans. Fuck Logan Paul. But then Gallows is like, "Oh, when we're done with Javon, we're coming after that Heritage Cup." And then Charlie's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You're making a headache for me. It's not good." But no, I love Ren in the group. I think she's making NQCC the best they can be. Oh yes, baby.
Oh,
Fuck.
you took it
Uh,
another fucking level.
of course I did. I'm my own face. And Foster
Holy poop!
Foster making a great point as per usual. It's Foster. He's fucking handsome as shit and intelligent. I fucking love you so
I'm
much.
just
Live with
waiting
me,
for the
god damn it.
time when you stop stating the obvious.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm just waiting for him to live with me so we can make the cinnamon buns because they're not gonna make themselves. But he said, I can't wait for Tavion to come back. Foster, I am telling you,
Same.
I know this isn't gonna happen. I know it's not. You guys already know my prediction in the Discord. I think Ridge is gonna be the one, unfortunately, to beat Obafemi for the North American Championship. If it was Tavion and they took NQCC in a more serious direction, just slightly, the pop I would fucking have. I love Oba to death, but I know he's gonna make his fucking money regardless. So I'm thinking about who is the guy that Oba's gonna give that rub to. I don't think Tavion's a bad choice. With how over he got in the N1, fuck, man. I love NQCC. When Tavion comes back, man, we are gonna cook. We are gonna cook. Um,
Mhm.
after that, it's Lexus King. Fuck him. He beats Aura Mensa,
He's
who
so annoying.
he is. I'm
Bro,
skipping.
this dude has been here for almost a year and he still has no aura.
Yeah, he just got beat by Aura, or at least he should have.
Oro.
Yeah, exactly. But
This dude
yeah,
has no aura, no riz, no personality, can't cut a promo. His matches are mid. There's nothing to him. There's literally nothing. The only thing even remotely interesting about him is that he looks like the fucking Tiger King and is the
yes.
son of a more talented wrestler.
Bro, since he looked like Tiger King, he should have just gone. Like, I know it wasn't because of a tiger accident. At least I don't think. But he should have gone for like a Craven gimmick at best, because then at least I would have had something to laugh at every week. But no, no, it just
He should have.
uh,
He should have just embraced the Tiger King and gone full Jamie Noble trailer trash gimmick.
yeah, yeah. But instead, no, it's my way, my life. I fucking every time I hear it, I'm like, oh my god, I was in such a good mood, and now I just died a little inside. So
Damn,
thank you,
I didn't know that
thank
you
you.
were partially suicidal because you did just say it yourself. So that means you just kind of killed yourself a little.
Yeah, 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 there you go. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Will I ever learn self-love? No. No, I won't. Let's not worry about that. I'm gonna move on now. Obafemi. Yeah, I'm skipping over the really good stuff because I want to save that for last because I want to pop. So there is something good that I glossed over intentionally. We will come back to that. We will come back to that. But
Thanks,
yes,
Trevor.
the God, I hope he's doing well. But yes, the
Just don't go
family.
skydiving anytime soon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? Damn.
What do you mean?
No,
It's a Fresh Prince
No,
reference.
I know it was. I'm just amazed that you're putting all these threads together because normally when I try and layer shit, you're like, wait, what? And now here you are stacking
Well,
blocks.
yeah,
God
because I'm
damn.
not skipping any steps.
Damn. All right. Well, the family are backstage. They're kind of talking about, just Tony D'Angelo losing at No Mercy to Obafemi. Oba comes in and he's like, oh, it's really nice what you think about Tony, but nobody's going to beat me for this championship. And then Riz has something to say about that, to which Oba replies, in some cultures, women are seen and not heard.
Dude.
I was, fuck.
Oh, Oba.
But if anyone could get away with it, I'm just saying.
Why would HBK put those words in his mouth?
Because I think he knows that Oba's getting over and he's like, what'll get heat? I know sexism. Do you not know how far right the Overton window still is? Fuck. Um,
Why are we still trying to make Oba a heel?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Maybe because they feel like, well, if he's a babyface, nobody's gonna want to see him be overcome. So, but it's like, no, I like seeing people achieve their dreams, and get pushed. Um,
I love Alex Foster. He just said Rizzo is beating Oba for that belt.
oh God, I'd pay to see that. Um,
I don't want to watch that because I like Rizzo and I don't want to watch what Oba would have to do to her.
Power bomber straight to hell. So yeah, it's gonna be Stacks going against Oba because that's not a mismatch at all. I like Stacks too,
Bro, the
man. I
way
have
that
nothing
you
against
made
him.
that was that like sound that you made, it sounded like a cartoon using a spit cup. I was waiting for the ding afterwards.
Oh my God, your face thinking about my face.
It was
Uh,
like a ding. I'm
you
such a
done?
child. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Uh, we have Jada Parker beating Jasmine Nix. Love Jada. I love that she actually 1v3'd Fatal Influence until it got to be too much. She's a badass, y'all. She's gonna be a champion before the end of this year. Mark my words. I think she's gonna win that women's North American title. She's only got a few months left to do it. So let's get to fucking work. Cause yeah, this woman has her shit locked down. She is amazing. Um, Still don't really care for Fatal Influence, but that's whatever. Oba did beat Stacks, by the way. That did happen. And, Tony was kind of looking on like, well, shit, uh, you know, I thought I was going to make Stacks after this. Looks like he got the Joe Pesci treatment courtesy of Obafemi. So I don't know. I guess it's back to the drawing board for the family. And, after all of that, we get the Roxanne segment, and she talks about how she's always going to be on top of the division, how she's kind of the dream match queen now because everybody's putting her or putting their opponents against her, whether it's Julia, Stephanie Vicaire. Roxanne's always in the conversation, but the reality is nobody's taking this title from her. Lights go out, and then we hear, shh, it's
It's
Chelsea.
Chelsea Green.
Fuck the pop that I had when this happened.
You know what, dude? I gotta admit, I kind of was robbed of a pop because I saw a spoiler early in the day that she was backstage at NXT.
I am so sick of you getting spoiled on wrestling. I need to like kill spoilers so that you can just enjoy wrestling fully again. Um, Chelsea says, "Oh, were you expecting someone else?" And then Roxanne was like, "Well, actually, yeah." And there's like rhetorical question, Roxy, and she's starting to walk down. She's sniffing like she skipped Sheffield. Another rhetorical question. Why does this section smell like BO? It's deodorant, people. God, the chewing that I was doing internally while she was speaking, insane. Just insane. Um, and then, she still gets a great pop from the crowd. The crowd was so into her here. She said, I thought I'd come out because I'd do anything for my fans. And then a Chelsea chant erupts, in the crowd. And then she says, well, most of them, because some of them are creepy. And then she gets in the ring and she more or less says, like, oh, nobody's going to tell me that I'm not the number one contender. And then the lights go out again. And then it's Julia, who is known as the beautiful madness in NXT. So I'm going to take a beat here. First of all, I want to check in with you what you thought about Chelsea's work here, even though you did get spoiled on her appearing. And then really the meat of the discussion is Julia, the presentation. I like the theme. I like the lighting. I love her look for America. I don't know if it's going to be like a Stardom thing where she changes her look semi regularly. I
No
would like
shot,
that.
dude.
You think this is her signature look in just her entire NXT run? Is
Maybe
just
not
look?
forever, but they are not going to let her change her look every few months the way that she did in Stardom because WWE is got fucking action figures to sell, bro. They've got
Yeah.
action figures to sell and they've got video games to market, and they need her to look consistent.
I'll tell you this
I could
look.
see like a once a year style change at most.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this look. You can put this look on an action figure, no fucking
Hell
problem.
yeah.
Um, she looked tremendous here. What do you think about her nickname, Beautiful Madness? Is it growing on you? Because I think it's growing on me. I'm
I
just
don't
wondering
really
how you
get
feel.
it. I don't really get where the madness is coming from. I mean, obviously she's beautiful. Anyone can see that, but I don't get where the madness is coming from.
Yes. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Um, I felt so bad for Chelsea. She very clearly wanted to show Julia how we high five in America. Julia mistook it for a forearm, ended up forearming Chelsea in the face, and then hit a huge knee
I
strike to the
love how
face.
you say she wanted to show how we high five in America, as if Chelsea's even American when she's not.
Well, I mean, Canadian.
She doesn't go here.
Yeah. And I can't even make an excuse about Canada because, as geographer Scott Steiner taught us, it's Mexico, but it's Mexico North. So, yeah, it's just there's no way to work around that. But yeah,
God, I would
uh,
so rather live in Mexico North than America right now.
uh, I mean, yes, but it's not the margins aren't as big as some people
No,
probably would
I
think.
know it's not like a fucking paradise by any means, but it's still better.
Yeah, I really hope one day just indigenous people and
Dude,
reclaim this entire earth.
I
Fuck this.
was I was this year. It was literally this year that I learned that Canada is still technically like a fucking territory of England.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, they really colonized the shit out of the world.
They really did, and may they
Jesus
never stop
Christ.
paying for it. Julia
Uh,
takes the mic from Chelsea and says her first words, me, you, CW. And Roxanne seemingly says yes because she holds her title in the air while staying in Julia's face. And again, we know Julia next week will be facing Chelsea Green. So I think it all kind of tied up neatly. Now to talk about the actual main event of NXT for me, we have Tatum Paxley beat Rosemary in a matchup. Wendy Chu was very angry about this. They start the beatdown, and who saves Tatum? Lyra saves Tatum. Tyra Tuesdays are so back. Now, of course, on Twitter, it's known as Tyra Tuesdays, but of course, poor Ashton here can't help but think about Tyra Banks every time it's mentioned. So we came to an amendment. He suggested, can we just say Tyra Tuesdays? And we agreed. So here it's Tyra Tuesdays. In the broader world, though, it is Tyra Tuesdays. But they are back together. Oh my God. So Lyra saves her. The eye contact they make was so beautiful. Tatum takes her hands, they embrace, and then Tatum just jumps in Lyra's arms, and I legitimately teared up. Then they had a segment later where Tatum was like, "Oh, my sweet, sweet dove, I knew you'd understand what happened and that you'd come back for me, and I know like nobody cares about you on Raw like I do." And then Lyra very quickly put the kibosh on, and then she's like, "Whoa, let's just remember the whole reason this didn't work out was because you didn't let me have any friends." And when I told you to make friends, I didn't mean to literally, and kind of alluding to that she's been making so many dolls this whole time. And she said, I know how things ended, and I swore I'd never come back, but I couldn't keep my eye off of you. And then, she's like, you got backup now. We're going to deal with this. And then Tatum's like, oh, but Lyra, can we, and she's like, "Oh, sure." And then they hug again. Oh God, Tara is goals. Friendship is real. It's saved. It's okay. I didn't really think I'd be able to take much more because I really feel like Woods is gonna do some shit to Kofi. I don't know. But yeah, I love them. I love them so much. And I'm so happy. And I'm so happy that Foster and I have this. We deserve this. We have earned this. And we are gonna ride this to the fucking top. Tara for tag team champions. Don't at me. Jade will turn on Bianca, and that'll totally be how it happens. So yeah, I'm psyched for this. Especially because it does seem like they have cooled down on Lyra. I mean, you were telling me that she lost to Io Sky on WWE Speed because now they're doing a women's champion on that show. Cool, I guess. I don't know. Um, and then yeah, Foster alluding to that Tatum said that no one has Lyra's back on Raw, so maybe Tatum will show up on Raw to help Lyra with this stuff against Pure Fusion Collective. I don't know. I really like Tatum though, man. I think she's gotten better in the ring. I've always loved her look. I've actually really like listened to her theme recently. I love her theme. It actually has lyrics in it, so I feel like that may mean that NXT is a bit high runner because so many people actually get like an actual song for their theme, right? It's crazy. Um, but yeah, this just made me super happy. This was the high point of NXT for me. Do you have any opinions about Tara being back together? You want to
I'm
get in on
a
this magic?
little bit confused because I'm pretty sure the last thing that we saw between them was Tatum attacking Lyra and throwing her into the steel steps.
Okay, so two corrections there. Technically, the last thing we saw from them was that triple threat at In Your House or whatever that show was, where Roxanne retained the championship. But also, I mean, look, it was a misunderstanding, right? I'm sure Tatum at the time just had low blood sugar, and now it's all worked out. Okay, so it's fine. It's totally fine.
Uh,
Um, Look,
yeah,
I mean,
I mean, look, I'm happy they're back together. I'm not going to deny that. I'm stoked to see them back together. That's awesome. It's
yeah,
just I'm just concerned that Lyra was this forgiving and this quickly. That's all I am gonna say.
yeah. Look, I mean, think about how weird our friendship has been and how aggro I've been at times. And yet, yeah, you still love me. It works out. Like, I'm the Tatum in this relationship, and we're fine. We're fine. Granted, my subconscious seems to think differently, but we're fine. And, Tatum and Lyra are going to be the same way. It's going to be great. And I know there are some naysayers like Dom who say, well, Lyra hasn't forgotten either. Maybe she's just playing the long game. To which I would tell him, just give friendship a chance, man. The fuck? Like, hug someone, please, for the love of God. I'll hug you. I'll happily hug you. I'll hug you 100 times over. Just let this friendship breathe. So I am excited for Lyra Tatum. Nothing wrong is going to happen whatsoever. And Foster and I are taking this all the way to the top. Choo choo. Yeah, that's right. I got it in. So that's NXT. And now we can talk about if you have any while All Out is in progress. Do you have anything you want to talk about with AEW? Because there are like a few things I want to say just from what I watched, but I want you to go first.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about the arson.
Yeah, yeah. How did you? I already kind of gave my thoughts on it, so I'd actually like you to open this up. How did you feel about the segment?
I thought the actual segment on TV was very well done. I think this
Yes,
is right now, especially, this is far and away the hottest feud in AEW. I think it's this particular segment was extremely well done. Hangman's intensity has been fantastic since he came back. You and I definitely agree that he probably should have just won the Owen Cup. He didn't.
yes,
So they kind of stalled that, I guess, maybe because they didn't feel like they told enough of the story. I don't even know, honestly. I can't even really tell you. But this segment was great. Swerve's acting was great. Hangman's acting was great. The execution was great. It was really well done. Um, I can't complain at all about this segment, but I keep saying this segment because this segment was really like, I don't know, I feel like it was undercut both by being way too late. Like, I feel like this should have happened months ago. Like, the idea that AEW spaced this feud out the way that they did really hurt its momentum. And now trying to like rekindle it and spark it back up. I said spark it back up after an arson. Uh, after these two really haven't interacted in months, it feels like just I don't know. It's just not. It feels like they got their knees cut out from under them, and they're doing the best with what they can, and they're still doing great. But they could have done so much better if they would have just maintained their momentum when they had it. So that's one criticism, and then another criticism that I feel like kind of undercut the segment was the video that AEW put out literally the same day of Swerve buying his childhood home. It's like you know how when you're watching a TV show and it's like one of those drama shows where a lot of people die, like a Game of Thrones or like a Walking Dead, and a new character gets introduced in a season, and there's that one episode that season where that character gets a lot of like character building, and you get you can tell that the writers are really trying to make you like that character, and that's the episode that they die in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what this felt like. That's like it feels like very lazy writing. It feels like they had this idea and we're like, oh shit, that's a genius idea. Let's see if we can do it in a day.
Yeah.
And they did it in a day, and the TV execution worked out really really well. And I'm honestly impressed by how well it worked out on TV. But man, the level of like stretching and the emotional manipulation going on, it's just comes off as so disingenuous to me, to the point that like when the Swerve video was posted in our Discord, I really wanted to be happy and I really wanted to be excited, but I couldn't help but sniff it out as like, oh, this is kayfabe. This is like they're making a work here. Hangman is going to do something to that house that's going to finalize their double turn. And lo and behold, Sean, I think, actually made the exact same prediction. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So like AEW has kind of become a company where you can't really trust anything anymore, even the stuff that you want to feel good about because of shit like this. And I feel like that's like they've kind of like burned bridges with my good faith. You know what I mean?
I think that's completely understandable, man. As somebody that when I spoke about the segment earlier, I did like it and I gave it its props, specifically relative to what WWE is doing with Drew and Punk.
Yeah.
But I think when you shift the perspective and you say, okay, we'll take WWE out of the picture. Let's just look at AEW's own internal booking and writing and everything else. I think all of your criticisms are salient and have merit. Absolutely. I mean, we've been saying, and you just said earlier, he should have won the Owen. I agree with Javaris in the comments, just to acknowledge what he's been saying. They should have had Hangman win the Battle Royal at All In. But no, they had to have Christian win. Now, I like Christian. I think the gimmick is way played out.
See, and I don't even agree with
But
that. I thought Nigel should have won that shit.
that's true. You did say that. You did say that. I guess I should say that I understand also people that would have wanted Hangman to win just because,
Yeah.
like, how do you not get him in that conversation,
Yeah.
essentially, right? And they just didn't. And that's what really, like, that's what really floors me because you can tell that AEW can have good ideas every now and again, but they can't put together a comprehensive whole. And that is something that WWE has demonstrated to their credit what they can do. I mean, look at the Bloodline storyline, particularly in the Jey Uso abuse victim era. that was such an amazing comprehensive story that saw Jay. I mean, he didn't get his freedom the way that I would have liked, ultimately being the one to beat his abuser and take the power, but he did get on another show and this and that. So even then they kind of fumbled the ball a little bit to me because in a way, Cody orchestrated that happening. So of course Cody's the savior again. I hate Cody so much, y'all. You don't even know. But with this, yeah, there have definitely been obvious missteps that if they didn't take them, this moment would have been so much more meaningful. Or even imagine if they didn't show the YouTube video earlier, which they kind of use an excuse of like, oh, Swerve, you're a very private guy, you're a very secret guy, but you tripped up. You had to share this video, which told me where you were, where this house was. Imagine if like Hangman had found out another way. If it wasn't like this upload, so you didn't even know about it, you could just have Hangman walking around and be like, "Oh, people don't know this, but recently you had quite a moment in your life, didn't you? When you bought your childhood home." And then he kind of shows it. And then whatever. This way you don't like kind of prep people beforehand, but it just comes suddenly like, "Oh, wait, what the fuck?
Yes, that
What
yeah,
is
like
happening?"
that's what I mean. Like I really it's weird because this is like a moment that would have actually come off better on TV had I not been exposed to the online video in the first place. Because the online
Yes.
video made me prepared for what was coming on TV. If I hadn't seen the video on YouTube, the moment on TV would have been insane. Especially if I wouldn't have been like in a room full of other people who saw the video on YouTube and were like talking about like, oh man, this is gonna be fire. Oh man, like like people like who knew what was coming, basically. Like people who were like in the know about what was about to happen. I feel like this would have been maybe even like a segment of the year contender, but because everyone was already kind of smartened up to what was happening, because AEW can't fucking help themselves, it ended up just being a really really good segment rather than like a segment of the year contender.
Yeah, like I this segment could have had the energy of Brian Pillman breaking into Austin's house with a gun, And like
Dude, it's
because
funny you say that because there was actually a moment on All Out tonight that gave me those vibes.
which was
John Moxley tried to murder Brian Danielson with a plastic bag.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Yeah, like held it over his head kind of thing.
Wow. So has John Moxley just been out of Blackpool Combat Club for a while or like
BCC betrayed Danielson and Yuta tonight.
oh
Yeah,
fuck.
specifically like Claudio and Moxley betrayed Danielson while Pac held Yuta back so that he couldn't help Danielson. And this is also like part, Marina Shafir is also in on this little group that they're forming.
Oh, that's disappointing. Remember when I thought that they could have been one of the coolest things in pro wrestling and they kind of fucked that up? Yeah, that's really wow.
Yeah, so
What a
BCC
yeah.
is no longer, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
BCC
Yeah.
is dead.
That's
And
that's
by the
great.
way, yeah, I do remember, and I remember feeling the same way, but that feeling completely died when Regal left.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
really
for
when
sure.
Regal aligned himself with the MJF, but then he got written off TV the next episode of Dynamite. So it might as well have been the same thing.
AEW's lack of writing and again just comprehensive writing is its Achilles heel. Like one of its Achilles heels. I know it's usually supposed to only be one heel, but I feel like AEW has several. But that writing, man, because again, I think about so many stories that could have been something, and it's like, oh, so that's it, or oh, just this, and fuck. But yeah, anyway, do you have anything else you want to say about Hangman Swerve? Because I feel like I already said all my stuff earlier, and if you just had anything else you wanted to share,
Um, there are a lot of missteps that they've taken along the way. I do agree with Super Blue though. I do think that Swerve should win the cage match tonight. I don't think he's going to, but given what Hangman just did, because that's kind of my thing too. Is like, yeah, what Swerve did was absolutely out of bounds and like unacceptable. But while it was unacceptable and while he should never have done that and while he shouldn't have been able to get away with that, it ultimately ended up causing zero harm. He didn't actually cause any harm. I mean, he caused some paranoia without a doubt, but he didn't actually cause any harm. Hangman turned around and burned down his fucking home, and not even just his home, but his childhood home, where he has memories, where and not even just talking about like his intrinsic value as far as like the memories and stuff, but like, property damage, arson, actual crimes being committed, that kind of thing. Um, so like it's like an escalation thing, right? It's like we keep talking about with Drew and Punk, how like Drew talked a bunch of shit and then Punk the response was way greater than what was really deserved in our minds because Punk cost Drew the world title 3 separate times, and
Yeah.
then and yeah, so like it's kind of similar to that, where like Drew definitely deserved a comeuppance, but then Punk took it too far. That's what's happening here with Swerve and Hangman. Swerve definitely deserved a comeuppance. Hangman just took it too fucking far, and now it's we've flipped the script where now Hangman is the one who deserves the comeuppance, and maybe the ultimate comeuppance for Hangman is for Swerve to beat him by himself, because that's what Hangman keeps saying. You can't beat me without help. You can't beat me by yourself. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it goes. So yeah, then we get to Garcia and MJF, which I did want to just talk about this very quickly, as again another instance where they do a feud and it seemingly has got legs, but then you just quickly like, okay, so let's set the scene here. This all starts because Daniel Garcia loses an international championship match against Will Ospreay. MJF was kind of the corner man for Garcia for reasons that honestly I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. After the match, MJF fully turns heel again, which, oh, wow, what a shock. Who could have seen that coming? Even though on his return promo, he said he no more friendship, no more bullshit. And then he pile drives Garcia off the middle rope and, kayfabe, injures his neck, whatever, almost breaks his neck. Then MJF and Osprey get into a feud, blah, blah, blah. We know it all in. Osprey gets the title back with the Tiger Driver 91. And Garcia, I think, ran interference. We also learn later that Garcia did pawn off. He stole and pawned off the Dynamite Diamond ring. Then the Dynamite after All In, MJF cuts a promo, which I admittedly did like. I did chuckle. But then he gets to Daniel Garcia. He says, "If you ever show your face in my company again," Garcia shows his face in the company again, attacks MJF from behind, gets him in a guillotine, immediately chokes Max out, which I will give credit for that. Made the guillotine look legit. I haven't seen anybody pass out that quickly to a guillotine ever. So it makes Garcia look like a badass. But then he tries to pile drive MJF. Then he's like, no, no, he did it off the middle rope. I want to do it off the middle rope. He gets stopped by security. Then Max tries to take it back, and then Garcia regains control. So they do brawl a little bit, but Garcia stands tall. Garcia cuts a promo, and then he has an impressive visual where he actually throws the mic at MJF, which I know popped a lot of people in the comments from the video that I watched this from. Now, having set the table, we get to this dynamite, and immediately I hate it because Garcia, he begins the promo with, oh, they say patience is a virtue, but more or less he says, I don't have a lot of patience. Max, get out here. Max is like way up in the stands. I don't think like quite a skybox, but something kind of similar. But they talk. And that's immediately my problem. They talk. If you have a character, in my mind, right? Much like your problem with Drew, the match doesn't stop until your heart stops. Why are we talking then? Like, I feel like that's it, right? If you say, I mean, credit to Batista, right? I can't believe that I'm going to be bringing this up, but credit to Batista when he said to Ray, "I'm going to take your head off." He didn't talk for 5 more minutes after that. He literally just lariated him after the fact and beat the shit out of him. So, like, Dave was just so good, man. I
Well,
still
yeah,
think in some
and you
ways
know
he's
what
underrated.
though? To give even more credit to AEW, from what I understand, we've got Swerve and Hangman out here, talking all this shit and having all this personal resentment. And from what I understand, their match, they've actually been trying to fucking kill each other. I haven't seen it, but I literally am seeing people saying like Swerve is trying to kill him. This is the most violent pay per view in AEW history. Like, yeah, like this is they've it's apparently like apropos. Like they're actually doing what we wanted Drew and Punk to do.
Yeah,
Obviously, Drew and Punk aren't going to go to the extremes that they'll do in AEW because AEW goes a little too far sometimes, and they don't really know, where to when to stop. But there's a happy medium that these wrestling companies need to find where guys are actually allowed to show their emotions and are actually allowed to, you know, uh, be angry in their matches and wrestle like it, but don't necessarily go to the extent of like I'm gonna go get a weapon and hit you with it because when I'm angry at someone, I'm not thinking, oh man, I can't wait to go grab that chair and hit you with it. I'm thinking, oh my god, I can't wait to get my hands on you. Like there's the difference. It's like we gotta kind of straddle it a little bit. We gotta thread the needle.
Dude, absolutely. And this is my problem with Garcia and MJF. And I'm glad that you gave AEW props kind of balance scales. But like, why are we talking right now? Why? And then here's the thing too. Not only do they talk, I hate how we get back to bland basic bitch ass 101 motivations because Garcia says, my problem with you isn't your hair transplant or this and that. My problem with you is your fake love for AEW. You don't care about these fans of this company like I care about. And I'm like, wait, 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 wait.
Oh, it's so shallow.
And that's what I'm saying. You go from an actual substantive motivation to you tried to break my fucking neck in front of my mother to I love this company more than you. Shut
Yeah.
up. Shut up.
Remember,
Why are we
remember,
regressing?
bro. Remember, this is a lesson that I'm surprised Tony Khan didn't learn because if there's nothing else we know about Tony Khan, it's that he's a fan. Remember in 2014 when Batista came back and all
Yeah.
he said on the mic every week was, "I love this. I love this company. I love this business, and that's why I'm back because I love this." And it turned him into a fucking heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn, Tony.
Yeah, like you should have just kept it to, for my mother, for everybody that had to watch me get stretchered out, which he said in the first promo, and he should have kept that energy there. Like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And like that's it. The moment when you try and make it about AEW and the fans, it is so corny. You want to know how I know a wrestler loves me? When they give their all in the fucking ring when the bell rings. That's when I knew, like, I don't think Eddie Guerrero ever really said, I could count on one hand when he was a babyface how many times he said he loved us. Because he didn't fucking need to because he entertained us. He wanted us to smile and laugh. Again, when he was a babyface, and even when he was a heel, he loved us because you can't tell me that a guy that put out that kind of work doesn't love entertaining people. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, that heel run was fucking legendary.
yeah,
God, I'd kill for more Eddie Guerrero's in the fucking locker room. But anyway, when you openly pander like, oh, I love you, don't know me, dude. Stop trying to reverse engineer this parasocial relationship. I am trying to like you. Say less. Do more. I know, like they can't help themselves. They just have to fucking have the baby faces masturbate over what a great fucking company AEW is. Well, then build it, motherfucker. Build it. Prove it. Show it. Do something. Oh my god. Oh. And like, I don't know. I don't know. And then he finally does pursue because MJF makes a crack about Daniel Garcia's mom, which I mean, God, Christian got the dad, so MJF got the moms. And then Garcia gives pursuit, and then he gets hit with a wine bottle, and it was a great visual. MJF kind of sitting next to him and kind of talking to him while he's bleeding, and then he kind of kisses the blood, which is gross, but it's whatever. But like that would have meant so much more if they were fighting the entire time and you knew Garcia was getting the upper hand and MJF was desperate, and then he grabs the bottle because he knows all things being equal, Garcia can beat his ass. That's how you make
yeah.
that moment mean something. When you're doing a
But
bunch of
I
talking and then
actually
it's like,
saw this clip, and it literally Garcia was like fighting through security, and then as soon as he got a clear shot at MJF, boom, there's the wine bottle immediately, and he's just done.
yeah, which again, I think it has a similar effect to what I'm articulating, but I think it would have been so much more if you had let them kind of fight, and then MJF, because he is an insecure character at his core, is like, oh shit, this guy, he might actually be better than me. I need to regroup. Bam, wine bottle, whatever, get my confidence back. I did not like how this was handled, and this is coming from a guy that actually didn't mind their first segment. Again, MJF made my other Fave Five recently because of this segment because I just love sometimes what a pouty fucking whiny douchebag he is and a piece of shit. But yeah, I mean already I don't care because Garcia tried to make this about more than you broke my neck. Sometimes it doesn't have to be about us or about the company. Sometimes it really can just be about you tried to end my career. This is how I fucking live. This is how I support the people I love. Fuck you. And again, like I just need people to remember how feuds can work. Just fuck. So yeah, that was really the only big thing I want to talk about with AEW. Is there anything else from the show? Because I know All Out is in progress that you wanted to survey real quick, or do we just move on?
I feel like Mariah May wrestled Nyla Rose on this show
On Dynamite, you mean, or on All Out? Just to be clear,
on Dynamite.
on Dynamite. I think I did see something about that, but I didn't watch the clip. I'm assuming she just like retained or won the match if it was non-title. So,
I think she actually won with Storm Zero, like Tony's finishing like the pile driver.
oh, so she's still kind of like doing that whole thing. Interesting. I thought that
Yeah,
would have ended after she beat Tony. So that's
yeah.
yeah, yeah, weird.
Jamie Hayter also wrestled on this match, but it was against Robin Renegade, and it was like a basically like a squash. It wasn't full squash like it should have been, but it was like one of those like old school NXT style exhibition matches that featured Jamie heavily. Robin got a few little shots in, but Jamie mostly just destroyed. Haterade, by the way, has evolved. It is no longer a Rainmaker. It is now a Pepsi Twist.
Interesting. Okay. Um.
Which honestly, I dig it because Okada is here now, but you know who isn't?
Yeah. Oh, you. You've really taught me that there is no pop like the self pop.
Listen,
Like,
man, nobody has a better sense of humor to my brain than my brain.
fair, fair. Okay. Um. Yeah, I'm not trying to tell Tony Khan what to do because I really don't give a shit about this company anyway. But it's not that Jamie Hayter's on the same level as a Rhea Ripley, but I wish AEW would act like she was. You didn't see Rhea have started the bottom and do squash matches just to get a title match with Liv. She got one right away because she
Dude, the
never lost
wild
the
thing is, there was
title.
a point in time that I would have said that Jamie was better than Rhea. I mean, not anymore, but there was definitely like maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I
Oh yeah,
100% would have made that argument, but not anymore. And then not
yeah.
even because I feel like Jamie has regressed or anything, just because Rhea has gotten so fucking good, and I feel like Jamie has stagnated mostly because of the injury. To be fair, but yeah, like, and also that also has because it's because of AEW's presentation of her. They have done nothing with her. She was the world champion 2 years ago. She got injured, and now she's returning on a 0 hour, getting random, basically squash matches against basically local talents on Dynamite, and then disappearing for all the other shows. She's not on Rampage, as far as I'm aware. She's not on Collision, as far as I'm aware. She wrestles one 3 minute match a week and then disappears.
Meanwhile, WWE was like, "Hey, you want to see a magic trick? We're gonna make two top baby faces at the same time in the Terror Twins, and they used to be heels." It's like Jesus fucking Christ.
Yep.
Um. So yeah. Um. I think that's it for me. I really have nothing else to say about AEW unless you do, and we can move on.
I'm good.
All right. Did you do any extracurriculars this week?
No.
No, I know it's a pointless question anymore, but I just always like to ask. All right, let's open up the floor to questions. Who has questions about this week in the world of wrestling? Yeah.
Javaris just said in
Yeah.
chat, I mean, Jamie is just coming back from a serious back injury, but like, I saw a sit down interview she just did with Renee Young, and she literally said, like, she feels better than ever. She feels like she's at 200%. So that tells me, like, maybe they kept her off TV longer than they needed to. Maybe she was ready to return a while ago, and they just didn't have anything, quote unquote, didn't have anything for her. Because she seemed like, you know, in that interview with Renee Young, she seemed like she was more than ready to be back and like she was recovered fully.
Yes.
I don't think WWE took it slow when Randy Orton returned from a year and a half off with a major back injury either, did they?
No, I don't think they did,
Didn't
no.
he literally return for War Games?
Yes. Yes, he did.
I'm just saying, like,
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's also like 44 years old or something like that, like 40, mid 40s. And
Isn't Jamie
Jamie,
like
I don't think she's even
27,
30
28?
yet. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Jamie's like in her late 20s.
Sweet. Okay. So yeah, again, questions for this week in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, that's a great point. Let's get some questions up in here. I know we've got quite a few people here. I know Javaris and Super Blue have both been chatting pretty actively, but I also know that Alex Foster has posted a message in here as well. My mom has too. I think that might be it though. We've had a pretty quiet chat for the most part.
Indeed. Oh, cash for sales coming in. Do you find it worse if Cody feuds with someone that you like or someone that you do not like? That's actually a pretty good question, Caster. I feel like it's always worse for me when he feuds with somebody I like because I have
Same.
no hope of them winning. So, like,
Same. It's so
yeah,
much worse for me. And really I think I can say for us
yes,
when he feuds with someone that we like because like that's like Cody title defenses on pay-per-views are almost always matches that we're going to skip. So when he defends the title against someone we like, that's a pay-per-view match that someone that we like is getting, and we're skipping it. That's never fun. Never fun.
The only positive is it saves us time, but I'd like to celebrate the people I like winning championships. You know, I miss the real fucking golden nuggets of being a wrestling fan, and that's watching the wrestlers you love be successful. And Cody's just kind of put that at a stop. And I mean, I'm finally enjoying Gunther again, but the way he won the title, oof.
Yeah.
So
Next
yeah.
question from Super Blue. How do you feel about Odyssey Jones possibly being fired?
He seemed a bit sus with the transphobia to begin with. The whole story with these domestic violence allegations are crazy because apparently there was a Twitter account that was constantly adding WWE about platforming him, and then the moment he got fired, it was almost like a oh god, what was it? A Kimberly situation where like all the tweets were deleted. The account may even no longer exist. I don't know. So yeah, the whole thing was weird. But I mean, look, if it's true, fuck him, and business goes on as usual. You know, they'll move on. Kofi and Xavier already just stopped acknowledging him. That's the weirdness of TV, right? It's like, wait, weren't you just having a guy run with you last week? I don't know what you're talking about. If he didn't do it, that'll come out in due time, and I'm sure he can get right back in the mix of things. I don't
Yeah.
know. And then they could come up with some kayfabe reason like, oh, Odyssey was doing this or this. You know, he was wrangling unicorns for our next New Day promotion or whatever the fuck. So it'll be fine. But if he's a scumbag, fuck him. You know, I'm tired of scumbags being platformed, and yeah,
Lord knows
clean,
we
clean
have
them up.
enough of them. Fuck.
Dude, absolutely. My point exactly. Um, Next question from Javaris. Why is my biggest op being successful? Because she knows how to politic.
That's the
And
correct answer. Also, to be fair, she's a really fucking good pro wrestler.
she is, which makes the politicking easier when she can back it up in the ring.
Dude, I'm telling
So
you, she's literally HBK.
yep, yep.
Because he had the same shit going on. He was an amazing wrestler who was a vile politician backstage.
Yep, that is an insidious and potent combination.
Yeah.
So, all right. Foster, was Ridge in the right? I don't know,
No.
Foster. Why don't you ask me now that I watched the beatdown 11 fucking times? Hell yeah, he was.
Absolutely not. He's never been in the right. He's been in the wrong the entire time, even to the degree that he picked the wrong team to go after the tag titles in the first place. It should have been him and Duke, not him and Chase. What a fool.
Yeah, I like the beatdown. I support Ridge henceforth, and can't wait to see him make Thea Hale cry again. Next question.
I
How do
hope
you feel
Duke
about
beats the fuck out of him.
That's not happening. Have fun dreaming. Super Blue, how do you feel about the end of SmackDown on Fox? I don't. It's a television network. They platformed them for a little while. On to the next one.
I'm happy
Um,
about it, frankly, because now when SmackDown ends, I won't have to rush so quickly to change the channel before garbage ass Fox propaganda comes on my TV.
you know what? That's fair.
Plus, the
That's fair.
commercials will be less intolerable because, again, I'm not getting ads that are paid for to be on Fox.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, Javaris with another question. Also, do you think we could get a possible match with Keith Lee and Okada if he comes back? If he comes back, sure.
Dude,
I
if
just don't think
Keith
Keith Lee's
Lee is
coming
able to
back.
come back healthy, I hope you get every single dream match you want, including Okada. And frankly, not only do I hope you get every dream match you want, I hope you get every one of them twice. Three
Yeah,
times, even.
yeah.
3 times, Javaris. 3 times.
Co-signed with the enthusiasm. Same question as Caster. So the whole, do you find it worse if Cody feuds with someone that you like or someone that you don't like? But with LA Knight, I always have hope that LA Knight will finally lose when it's somebody I like. But I think it's very similar to Cody, where I'm like, LA Knight's just kind of one of the guys right now, and so he's just gonna beat the people that I like because my happiness doesn't matter.
Yeah, with LA
So
Knight, it's
fuck
kind of the
him.
opposite with me. I'm more excited when someone I like goes after LA Knight because I have a lot more hope that they'll actually beat him.
Can you share some of that hope with me?
I'm sorry if I haven't been yet.
Oh, that's okay.
I've been
Um,
trying to the whole time.
I believe you. I know that I'm stubborn. Bestie asked a question. How long do you think it will be till Rhea gets her title back? I think Bad Blood.
Yeah, I
I don't
was
think
just
Rhea
I was
gets past Bad Blood.
literally just looking up Bad Blood to see when the date is. It is October 5th, so I'm gonna say 28 days. I'm gonna say literally exactly 4 weeks from now.
Not a question, but a comment. Maybe this is all Riley's fault. Absolutely. With that face, Jesus Christ.
Alex Riley?
No, Riley Osborne of Chase U.
Oh.
Alex
Oh,
Riley.
oh, yeah, he's a dickhead for sure, but like,
God.
Ridge is worse for sure.
Your brain is beautiful sometimes, I'll tell you. I haven't thought about Alex Riley in so long, and then you come in with that. Oh man. So
Remember
let's
when there was a random fan with a sign that said "Push Rage" and Alex Riley was on Twitter like, "This is the greatest compliment I've ever received in my career," and the dude was on Twitter and replied to him like, "No, no, dude, relax. This is just the name of one of my buddy's cause."
I did not know that, but Jesus Christ. Come on. How do you show yourself in public after
Dude,
that? I
I don't think he
I
did. I think that he was never on TV after that.
bro, I legit would have deleted my account after that. I would have been like, "I'm done. I'm cooked. Fuck."
It's true though. It's true.
Um, fuck. Uh, I love that I feel like we've had 3 self pops from you in this episode. This is a legendary episode.
It's just so embarrassing, dude. God. Also, it's funny to me that the most iconic thing Alex Riley ever did in WWE was get kicked by Kevin Owens while he was down.
Yeah, because Kevin Owens is like, "Well, life has been doing it to him the whole time. How hard could it possibly be? I'm a part of it. I joined in."
Apparently,
Alright.
Hangman won.
Oh, wow. Wow. Guess he didn't swerve when he drived.
Hmm.
I know that's not grammatically correct. Fuck everyone. Alright. Let's see, next question. Caster Sales, could you see a Breaker being champion until Mania? Absolutely, I could. Easily. It's not even that much of a stretch, honestly. Um, Foster, has the Judgment Day Live storyline cooled off for you guys like a good chunk of people? You know what hasn't cooled off for me, Foster? Your face. I fucking love you. As far as the story, I also haven't cooled off on it. I'm excited for Liv Rhea Hell in a Cell. As far as, but you did say though the Judgment Day Live story, so like the faction, eh. Priest definitely brought an air of him and Rhea both really brought an air of legitimacy to it. Now they look like just a bunch of, schoolyard bullies to me a little bit. And as a big Finn Balor fan, I kind of hate it because, like I love Finn so much. But I think I'm still enjoying it enough. How do you feel, Ashton, in the post Rhea and Damian era of Judgment Day? Have you cooled off on this, or are you still rocking with it? Because I know you've been a fan of Liv's work up until this point.
I'm still enjoying the whole everything about it. Honestly,
Nice.
I'm still into it. I'm loving the Terror Twins as baby faces. I'm loving Liv and to a lesser degree Dom because Dom still annoys the shit out of me, and especially like where like he'll start talking and as soon as the crowd makes any noise at all, he'll cut himself off and get upset about it. Like, dude, it's that shit annoys the fuck out of me. Um, but I still love the Terror Twins. Liv is great. I love Finn now in more of like a leadership role, and I think he's doing a great job. I wish
Yeah.
JD wasn't around. I'm enjoying Carlito's random little quips here and there.
I still can't believe he betrayed Rey Mysterio for this.
It's
God
pretty
damn.
funny, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm still digging the storyline overall. It's kind of funny because I know there was a time that I was like one of the first people, if not the first person in our community to be like, "Oh my god, fuck the Judgment Day. They're so boring. I'm so over it." And now like I'm still into it when we've got other people saying that.
Ashton's like, I have never been so back, as is evidenced by all the self pops. Javaris apparently asked a question earlier, so let's scroll up a little bit. Oh yeah, speaking of my biggest stop, when do you think she'll have her Hogan HBK moment? So I guess where she loses somebody and she drastically oversells. I mean, I don't know if it's not somebody that she trained. I guess it could be anybody because we know she trained Kamitani, so she'd have no problem
Micah,
losing her. Maybe it will be Micah. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe it will. And you know what? They'd get away with it too because Micah is a
The only
powerhouse.
way the only way that she'll oversell for Micah though is if Micah's booked to win. So if we start watching that match and we notice that Tamantha is way overselling for Micah, we'll know, oh my god, Micah's actually winning the title back here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So there you go, Javaris. Um, Javaris again, though. If Liv finds a way to retain against Rhea Bad Blood, keyword if, is there a chance that Io possibly gets a shot to win the belt? I don't think so right now. I think this Io right now is like tag team bound, unfortunately. She just got pinned in that tag match with Sky Pirates and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I was about to call them Alba Dawn. But yeah,
If
Io
the
being the
thing
pin
is,
pick,
if
yeah.
Liv does retain against Rhea, I think it's most likely. Actually, no, that wouldn't even make sense. who is a babyface on the Raw roster that could even challenge her other than Rhea? I feel like the Raw women's roster is very heel heavy.
See,
And
if they
like,
didn't nerf Lyra already, I would say Lyra, because remember
yeah,
she did
Lyra would
have
be a
those
decent
those
option. But again, like
yeah.
you said, she's been nerfed. Plus now she's doing an angle in NXT with Tatum.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, they're not going to just randomly decide to be like, hey y'all, Kiana James is here again.
Yeah. Oh god. I like Kiana too, but like what the fuck?
That question
Uh
makes me more confident that Rhea's winning though, because
yeah.
like there are plenty of heels for Rhea to defend against once she gets past Liv. Um, and even like face versus face stuff could work, so they could do Rhea versus Io at some point if they wanted. But heel versus heel doesn't really work so well.
No, no, it does not. Do you think it will be Andrade or Mello against Knight or both in a triple threat? I think a triple threat
I thought it was
personally.
already made a triple threat, wasn't it?
I don't think it was officially.
Oh well, then that's what I expect for sure.
Yeah, okay. Um Foster, who finally dethrones Fraxium for good. Oh god.
Did you just wait? Did that pop you? Like I feel like we all call them Fraxium.
That's the first time I'm seeing it. So, thank you for
Wow.
forming a knot that I'm not in. That's cool. That's definitely no comment
I
here.
I didn't mean to exclude you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Next time I
I
make a
genuinely didn't. I let me. You know what? I want to find something. I
this has been
first
a
referred to them as Fraxium July 9th in our Discord. I don't think you were around that night. Okay, you weren't. Okay. Foster referred to them as Fraxium the following week, and you were around, so you just weren't paying attention. That's okay.
wow, wow, okay. Nice, nice of you to really do that digging to absolve yourself. That's really cool. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, look, I'd love Tyson and Tyreek. Really, I'll tell you what, Foster, because they do treat Fraxium as baby faces. I hope OTM do it for good. I like OTM, man. I want to see them get back in the title picture. Especially because their girl Jada didn't get hardware yet. And I'd like to see them all wearing hardware at the same fucking time. So I'm gonna say OTM, Foster. What about you, Ashton? Who do you think?
What was the question?
Who is gonna dethrone Fraxium for good? So I guess beat them for the titles and then keep
Oh,
the
I mean,
titles
I
in the
would
rematch.
love it if it was OTN. That would be fantastic, but I do definitely have my doubts. God, that's a great question. I think, God, it's weird that you say for good because like they've already lost the titles and gotten them back.
I think what he means by
Um,
for good is that they would retain also in the rematch against Fraxium, because
yeah,
like clearly Chase
yeah.
you didn't.
Has Fraxium won the titles 3 times now? Like, are they 3-time champs or just two?
They're two-time champs. They're two-time champs.
Okay.
Yeah, because their one reign went on way too long and then they immediately got it back. So fuck.
You know what? I am gonna say this is gonna be a weird one. I'm actually gonna throw out a little bit of um a moonshot here. I want to check and make sure that I get the name right, actually, because I know this team has a name. I just want to make sure that I get the name correct. Monster Mafia.
Who is that?
Ethan Page and Josh Alexander.
Oh god. Oh
Either
god.
either them or MCMG. I think those are the two most because I think it's a team that isn't around right now. Is really what I'm getting at.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Javara's
Um.
even mentioned MCMG. I only say Monster Mafia because, dude, you got to realize Josh Alexander has been rumored to be on NXT for like a month now. Like the first night of Bash at the Beach, he was rumored to challenge Oba for the North American title.
Yeah, that's hideous. That is Josh Alexander is one of the most boring fucking wrestlers I've ever seen. And if I see him in that basic ass fucking headgear on NXT television, I'm changing the channel.
But we also know
Yeah.
that he is a former tag team partner with Ethan Page. We both expect Ethan to lose the world title to Trick on that October. Was it October 1st or 3rd? I
Yeah,
forget.
October 1st.
It is October. Okay, on that show. And if Trick can manage to clear his way of Ethan after getting the title back, retain it against him in a defense, so Ethan's done with the world title picture, it would make logical sense for Ethan to not want to be done with titles in general. And Lord knows that motherfucker ain't beating Oba. So
Yes.
a tag title run would make some sense. And he has a tag team partner, just not in this promotion. But hey, surprise, surprise, that tag team partner has access to this promotion through the promotion they've been working with.
Yeah, that is fair. I
So
mean,
I'm going to
everything you're
say
saying.
one
Yeah.
of the two of them. One of either Motor City Machine Guns, who we know are in. I think we know that they're in. Like they're under the WWE umbrella. They've signed a contract, right? We know that.
I
Or is
believe
that not?
so.
Is it not? Is that like they're like free agents? People are just hoping for that.
I thought that they were signed. That
I
was that
thought
was
that they were
my
signed
impression.
too. So that's like a big thing for them. Or yeah, Monster Factory. One of the two of them.
All right.
Or Monster
Let me.
Mafia. Sorry, Monster Mafia.
Yeah, yeah. Super Blue. If it happen, oh my God. If it happens, do you think CM Punk makes Gunther tap out to win the title? Super Blue. If that happens, I don't even fucking know. I'll just want to skip every CM Punk title defense because I will feel so fucking disgusted with how he won that fucking thing. No,
Super
no.
Blue, do you ask these questions on purpose to get a rise out of us? Because that is not even an idea that any of us had ever considered, and
Yeah,
it's infuriating.
yeah. I my stomach did a backflip reading that question. Um, because that was hideous. No, no. Fuck CM Punk. Um, Javaris, speaking of EO, why is EO losing? Well, it's booking, Javaris. I don't know what to tell you. I think EO is one of the best wrestlers in the world, but hopefully one day she gets something better to do. Super Blue, again, do you still think Liv and Finn are having a relationship and will it leave Dom single? I've kind of cooled off on that theory.
The
'Cause I,
WWE has kind of cooled off on teasing it.
yeah, exactly.
I wonder if
Um,
it's going to come back, but I'm starting to think no.
I'm starting to think no as well. Super Blue again. Should the women's War Games spot be given to NXT over the main roster based on current feuds? We'll see, because War Games would be what, November?
Yeah, late November though.
Late November. I mean, we'll
So we've
see.
still got like all like 2.5 months basically, almost 3 months.
I mean,
They're going to
yeah,
heat something up for the main roster. It's probably going to be on SmackDown, honestly. It's probably going to be SmackDown heavy because it's probably going to be something like Tiffany, Naya, blank, blank versus Jade, Bianca, Naomi, Bailey. Something like that.
I was hoping Meechin would get in on it because she's been doing
It
great
could be,
work in
they
these
could do
stip
five on
matches.
five. You could do that.
Yeah, yeah, um,
Maybe Chelsea and Piper are on the heel
yeah,
team. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then they just need a fifth, and we could do 5 on 5. That would work.
yeah. Caster Sales, do you think Vinci is a comedic wrestler now? No, I just think something funny happened to him, but I don't think that means he's a comedic wrestler. I have no idea what they're
I
trying to do with
hope
him.
he's a comedy jobber. That would be amazing.
That that would be amazing, honestly, but I don't think it's happening. I could be wrong though,
Literally let
Caster.
him be the new Santino. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Okay, that wasn't a question from Javaris. So any other questions? Going once.
Oh,
Going twice.
oh,
Going three times. All right, I'm closing the
high
gate.
spots and low shots, baby. Let's do this.
Oh my god, you need to relax.
Why?
Because it made me pop and I almost broke the count. Um,
It would have been funny though if it did.
well, you sound really close to the mic. Back up. Social distance.
Do I have
Um,
to?
yes.
Okay.
My my you sound so almost Bane-esque right now. What the fuck is going on? All right.
I was gonna do an impression, then I can't though because I'm laughing too hard.
Good. All right.
Judgment awaits you.
Okay, Maddox. Relax.
God
Gee,
damn it, that's number four. That's number four.
what are you trying to do?
Your face.
Well, no, not in public. No, go to your room. Low shot. Um,
There have been so many instances tonight where I've had water in my mouth and you've said something funny and I was so close to spitting it out. That was another one.
so that's my fault?
No,
Fuck.
it's not your fault. I'm pointing out that you're fucking funny. Take the compliment. God.
Okay, not with that tone. No, fuck you. I'll fight you right
Then you
now.
did it again. God damn it. Ah!
Okay, okay. Everybody relax, especially Javaris. But now, low shot. I'm gonna do an honorary low shot because I've really been wanting to be a douche to somebody all night, and I finally found my target. My low shot is Bronson Reed because my honorary
Oh,
low shot's Bronson Reed because you were getting a push,
ooh,
and then you got COVID. So hope
hmm.
you recover, but that's why everybody should mask and vax. And I don't know. I'm guessing Bronson. I'm guessing he vaxxed, but he didn't mask. Definitely mask up, people. They are
Yeah, because
lying about
fucking
COVID data.
nobody is masking these days.
Yeah, they are lying about COVID data. Cases are probably a lot higher than what's being reported. And yeah, just take care of yourselves out there. So my actual low shot though, as it relates to the wrestling, um,
Wait, you mean to tell me that Bronson Reed wasn't your actual low shot?
I said honorary, sir.
Oh, honorary. Okay, I'm sorry.
You want do you want a 12 off sponsored Q-tip to
I
clean your ears?
literally apologized. Move on.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh god. Actual low shot as it relates to the wrestling. I guess CM Punk. Fuck, I don't know.
What
Yeah,
did he do?
I mean, he won that challenge for the title, and then he got murked, and then he got the bead shoved in his mouth, and so,
Oh
you know,
yeah, he did get stretchered out, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
And then he
That
got the
happened.
beatdown continued on the stretcher.
Yeah. So, who's your low shot?
That's a really good question,
Yeah,
actually.
it was. It was. I agree.
Are you? Why the cutoff? What's that for?
No, I'm just agreeing with you. That's all. It's a good question.
Low shot Swerve Strickland because he got his house burned down and then he lost.
Sucked to be him this week. Um,
This is like the low shot to end all low shots. Honestly, I don't know if anyone in the history of pro wrestling has had a worse week than that motherfucker right there.
you know what? That is fair. That is fair. Honorary high spot, Alex Foster. Because really Alex Foster and
Obviously,
myself, because we are fucking thriving. Because my actual high spot is Tayra. Oh god, they're back together. Yeah, Tatum beating Rosemary on NXT and then fending off a beatdown with her and Wendy Chu thanks to Lyra, and now Lyra's got her friend back, and oh god, everything is right with the world. So Tara is my high spot. We are soaring. We are winning. We are living. Those tag titles are inevitable. So who is your high spot?
my high spot. Let's see here. Who is my high spot? I'm not gonna pick anyone from AEW on this. If I would, it would be Mariah May, but I don't think she's really done enough to be high spot worthy.
And neither is the crowd she's been in front of to be worthy of her celebration.
It's true. I really thought she was going to end up doing it tonight at All Out, and she didn't. She showed up on the 0 hour. God, AEW, you suck. But yeah, she showed up on the 0 hour to assault Sky Blue, which hopefully leads to her defending that title against Queen Aminata, because Queen Aminata did come out to defend Sky Blue.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the one positive takeaway. Um, I think speaking of positive takeaways, I think my high spot is going to be a very low hanging fruit. Kevin Owens, because he won in a triple threat against two guys who are teammates.
That's true. That's very true. All right. Anything you want to say in closing?
Honorary high spot is Chelsea Green because she beat Michin, and even though she did get kneed in the face by Julia, it was because of that she was the center of headlines all week. So they say there's no such thing as bad press. Yeah, that's Chelsea was getting all kinds of press this week, and then she actually capped the week with a win. So honorary high spot Chelsea Green, actual high spot Kevin Owens. And then what was your follow up question? I'm sorry.
No, no, it's okay. I was just saying, if you had any concluding remarks before I take us home.
No.
All right, well then, okay. Jesus.
I didn't even mean for that to be sassy. I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't you though? Didn't
I
you?
didn't. I didn't. And I really thought that I would get away with it because it came out and I was like, oh fuck, that was sassy. And then you started talking and I was like, okay, good, he didn't notice. And then you raspberry.
Yeah, let me save you time in the phone call. You're not beating the allegations. We all know it's nasty. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for joining us on definitely a weirder episode of In Review, but still with good time. I think it's just a little over
Oh,
an hour and a half. That's hot. Um,
oh my
all
god.
right. Yeah. So be sure to leave a like if you finally on, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. So you don't miss any of that total goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And you can check back with us guys on Tuesday at 5 for Super Blues TwitWoW Request Live.
Oh
We are
yeah.
doing WrestleMania 9 live reactions.
Sure are.
And then I'm assuming like Wednesday or Friday we'll have more Marty Gold, but we'll have to wait to confirm that. And then Thursday we'll be doing Stardom recap, which might be more chill given that this is the aftermath of the 5 star.
The next
So
Monty Gold show is like happening as we speak right now.
is it now? Wow. All right.
Yes, it literally is. It matter of fact, it might even yeah, it's happening right now. It is.
What's your face gonna do about it?
Literally, I need you to know this. Fucking nothing.
There we go. All right, so we'll be covering that. Jesus Christ, we need help. We're gonna be covering that Wednesday, and it's gonna be
Wait, I
great.
don't even know. Is it going to be up Wednesday? Yeah, it probably will be. Yeah, we'll do
It
it
pro-
Wednesday. That's fine.
yeah, yeah. We what 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
5 or 6, depending on how long it is and what we can skip on it.
Oh yeah, let's just say 5 for now, but we may change our mind later, which is why you all should be fucking subscribed to the Discord. It's $3 a month, and you get real time Twitwell updates about our content. So, because I can't remember the last time we even made a fucking schedule. Did anybody even read it anyway? I didn't think so. So yeah, just a Discord or bust, people. Discord or bust.
Wow, that sure
Um,
makes a whole lot of effort feel pretty wasted. Thanks.
wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I verbalized what you already knew deep down. I'm such a criminal. All right, so that's Mari Gold. And then Thursday it's Stardom recap. And then Friday, it might be more Monty Gold. I don't even fucking know.
Oh, actually, I
But
had Monty Gold's schedule pulled up. Let me pull that back up.
wow.
No, we're not going to have more Monty Gold. It's just the one show because their next show isn't until next Saturday.
Wow. Okay, well, it's gonna be a chiller week next week. I like that. We deserve it. Why do we
Well, I
deserve
would
it?
sure hope so, considering I'm getting a tooth implant on Friday.
God, that's really intense. All right. Well, I'm sure it'll all go great, bud. We're all
I
behind you and we
hope
all love you.
so.
It will. It will. Your face is gonna do great. All right.
My face is exactly what I'm concerned about. So thank you for the very specific and correct compliment.
Yeah, it's what I do. But anyway, we're amazing. We're great. I was gonna say it in a razzier, more catchphrasy way, but fuck it. It doesn't matter. You guys already know. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and remember, the world kind of sucks. So be good to yourselves and be good to each other, because it's the only way it gets better. Okay. And so until then, tune in and peace out.